We begin here where the border guards have had their hands full as thousands of travellers are streaming back into South Africa through the bustling Beitbridge Border Post in Musina, Limpopo. Now, since the start of the new year, nearly 10,000 people have crossed the border between Zimbabwe and South Africa. Newzroom Afrika's Veronica Makhoali is on the ground and she joins us live now. Veronica, good afternoon to you. I can imagine a very busy border post as people are travelling back and forth. Security guards are on alert. What are you seeing on the ground?
Well, it's been a very busy day here at the Beitbridge Border Post. We know that they have, of course, since yesterday, processed about 15,000 people that have come inside South Africa, flooding into the borders. But what is also on key for the Border Management Authority has been the number of people that have been intercepted at the border. So far, the number stands at 120. And in fact, this afternoon, we were part of that operation of seeing some of those people who attempt to cross the border illegally. Earlier this afternoon, the BMA intercepted an individual who was found, of course, on the borderline. And it was not just him. Minutes after he was arrested, there was another group which was found carrying several items with them, from a double-door fridge to fans and groceries, really just speaking about the fact that while the Border Management Authority has insisted it does have this issue under control in terms of the influx at the Beitbridge Border Post, many people are, of course, trying to see this as a golden opportunity to perhaps, take advantage of the fact that the officials will be focusing on the border gates. But the BMA has been able to continue with that work, both in the processing of the large volumes of people at the border gates and those, of course, trying to get an easy way inside. But definitely not easy, I can tell you that, Audrey. And I'm joined by Assistant Commissioner here, who has been part of the operation of intercepting those trying to get their way into our borders illegally. And that day we saw that first arrest that took place in the border, that difficult terrain where people often use those bushes to hide. How did we manage to close down on that individual as we watch the officials, essentially clamping down on a larger operation, of course?
No, very good afternoon, Veronica, and a very good afternoon to the viewers. These are the benefits that we are beginning to see, or the positive results that we are beginning to see from the deployment that we did on the drones together with the body cams. We are able to see through the screen that we have here the people who will be using the illegal ways to go through Zimbabwe or to come to South Africa through the river and then through the use of the boat. So after having seen this on the screen, we are able to interact with our bodyguards who are on the ground to inform them that there are people who are carrying this kind of goods that are going to cross this particular river or this particular border, and where they are able then to intercept them. Hence, we're able to see this kind of operations and the results that it produced.
Yeah. And let's talk a little bit about the individuals that we've seen coming through from the border. Various of them you can see that play different roles. One group bringing goods for other people, others saying that it's out of desperation and destitute. Just walk us through the individuals, at least this afternoon, that we've managed to intercept and what they've basically, told the officials for their reasons in coming into South Africa illegally.
Yeah, the people that we managed to intercept, obviously, this is a very sophisticated operation. They are those who are called facilitators. They will be the one responsible for ensuring that they inform these illegal travelers that the border guards are now stationed in this particular area. They will inform them so that they find other ways to use to go back to Zimbabwe. So there will be those, again, another group that will be obviously those who will be carrying the goods themselves. So others will be saying that we bought these things here, the goods this side of South Africa, we are going to use them, we are going to sell them this other side. The only problem that we have, and that is the reason why they are doing these things of illegal crossing, is that they don't have necessary documentation. They don't have passports. Some of them will be having passports that unfortunately have expired. Hence, they've resorted to the use of this illegal way of crossing through the river. And there will be those who are facilitating them and ferry them through the boats that they have themselves developed, for to say.
And the individual that we managed to intercept, just walk us through the process now that he's been arrested alongside a group of other 9 individuals just a few moments after he was detained. What is the process after this?
In terms of the goods that we confiscated, we do hand them over to SARS people who will then continue with the processing. There will be goods that, in terms of the standards that they use, will be destroyed, and then there will be those that they will see how to process them further. If it is about the fridge, I'm not sure what they are going to do with the fridge, but there will be ways after determining the processes that they follow that they will then process that particular fridge. But in terms of the people themselves, we take their fingerprints and then we document them as undesirable travelers. So they are banned to enter South Africa for 5 years. And then we do what we call V-listing, which is a process that is provided for in the Immigration Act, so that they don't find themselves coming back to South Africa within 5 years. So that is what we do in terms of the goods and then also in terms of the people.
Yeah, but Commissioner, I have to ask, while they do get processed and they are not declared undesirables, obviously this would be picked up if they were to use the border gate. But the fact that they don't actually even intend on using the gate and continuously use those porous gaps that we have on the border fence, is this not almost a cat and mouse game in terms of, arresting them, detaining them, deporting them, sending them back? It continues to be an ongoing cycle.
Unfortunately, that is the unfortunate part of it, because the people who we V-listed are not the same people who will come through the normal process. They will still continue to use the processes of illegal crossing that they are embarking on. And when we interacted with them, they are mentioning as the reasons for them using these illegal ways that the passport is very expensive on the other side of the country in Zimbabwe, which I was also not aware. But that is the challenge. Otherwise, if they are coming through the border, we will then get them through the system. But we will then have to follow the same process if they are coming through the illegal ways of using the ferry boats.
And just a final question for you, Commissioner, in regards to the syndicate that you were saying of smuggling illicit goods and travellers, there was a certain amount of money found on these individuals. How much, if we do know, do these people get paid to move in and out of our borders? In
terms of the interaction that I had with one of the travellers, he's saying that, and I'm not sure whether it was true, he's saying that we pay some of the people who are facilitating them 50 rand. Obviously, there is one who wanted to bribe me as well, but we ensure that we follow processes and interact with our colleagues from SAPS. So they can even give you something to the value of 1,500 rand so that they can find their way outside the country illegally. So that is the kind of challenges that we have. And then they are prepared, as I indicated, to bribe people on their way.
Right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Commissioner. Audrey, there you're hearing from the Border Management Authority, a daunting task. While they are successful in some of those interceptions and sending people and deporting them back to Zimbabwe, the reality is it is still quite a difficult thing in terms of making sure that they don't return. Back to you.
Veronica, thank you for that update. Veronica, they're coming to us from the border post in Beitbridge in Limpopo, where it seems, like she said, a cat and mouse game between the border guards and those that are trying to cross into South Africa illegally.